Welcome to the God Codes. So we're on video number 2 and we're diving in real deep now, going down into the journey with the gods and goddesses of Egypt. Now, just so you know, so you can get used to the terminology, the gods and goddesses of Egypt can sometimes be referred to as the Egyptian pantheon or the Egyptian Neteru, and a single god or goddess will be called a Neter. So that's the kind of words or that will be used in describing the gods and goddesses. So what it is to work with a god and goddess or co-create, what it means is your life is just going to change massively. I mean, it's like coming together. Instead of just being one up, you're now co-creating with source. So, I mean, it's like anything. If you create a business and you're a one-man band, it's going to be quite a struggle, isn't it? But if you get somebody to support you with accounts, somebody who's really, really good at like design and marketing, great. Somebody's really good at sales and so on, and you might have a secretary, then all of a sudden it's a team effort and you can actually expand and get more things done. And it's a co-creation and it's quite exciting. So that is 101 working with powerful gods and goddesses, not just Egypt, you know, because this template that I share with you today will go beyond the gods and goddesses. But for today's purpose, because we're in the God codes, we're all about the Egyptian frequency. So when you start to co-create with these members, you may have 2 gods and goddesses that you have on board, because the more we go through these videos, you're going to understand what we call the ascended mastery of each god and goddess. Okay, so ascended mastery is divine genius. It's their superpowers, and you're also an ascended master, so you also have superpowers. Now, we want to make it really, really clear that they are not separate of you. So when we work with the gods and goddesses, what we want to avoid or come away from is kind of like going into a meditation or tapping in and really seeing them as separate of you and kind of going, wow, okay, they're up there. Wow, that's not how it is, because actually they're a divine reflection of us and we're a divine reflection of them. They are a blend of us. They are a frequency of us. So for example, Toth, the god of wisdom, the god of scribing, symbology, sacred architecture, the Akashic records, he's just such a powerful teacher. That's who we're working with today. So yes, he holds all that ascended mastery, but guess what? You also hold those same frequencies within you because you're same consciousness, and they're just lying dormant. So by working with Toth and you bring in his frequency, you're recognizing that in yourself. So you're bringing that online and you're bringing that on board so you can access those superpowers. So that's kind of like how it works. And that's really, really important to really collapse those belief systems of being less than and that a god's all the way up there. I mean, you're also a god, because if we're all one and we're all one consciousness and awareness, which we are, we look through the same eyes as Jesus. We look through the same eyes as Isis. We look through the same eyes as Toth. So that's the way you've got to just like collapse those, any bridges that keeps you separate from them. You've got to, and that's why we talk about embodying. You have to embody it, and embody it means to bring it into here, land it. And a lot of us spend a lot of time not being here and wanting to be out there, and that's why we just keep circling to land and we never get there. So that's your intro to where we're going to go with Toth today. So as I say, Toth to me is he's the Google of the universe or the multiverses as far as I'm concerned. And he is, when you work with the Egyptian Neteru, most of the time, in fact all of the time, Toth will always be that one that shows himself first. And it's not uncommon to work with him primarily before you work with others. Or if you're in a meditation or channel and then, he'll come through quite strongly. It's like he holds space and he's the mediator between you and the other gods and goddesses. That can happen. So you might experience this because he's the one that went first. He is the one that came from Atlantis. He was a priest and he holds so much wisdom and knowledge of how to keep the golden age golden, which he did for a very, very long time. That was where he came from. He was an Atlantean priest. And then the gods turned him into a god so he could be immortal. And he brought all those codes and all that wisdom when Atlantis fell, and he put it into Egypt. And he built the pyramids. He had help. He had help of the lion people and the Ra contact, etc., etc. That's another blog post. But anyway, what I'm saying is he had knowledge, wisdom, and he knew a lot about a lot of stuff. And he built the civilization of Egypt. So he He knows stuff, man. And for me, he's always my first go-to. In fact, he's with me all the time. And I'm going to explain to you how I work with him, which may keep it quite clear or bring some clarity on how you could work with him as well. So now, because I'm always like surrounded by like little trinkets and things like that, I'm going to share them with you today. So for those of you that don't know, this is Toth. And Toth, this statue here, he's all the way from Karnak Temple in Egypt. And yeah, I just thought I'd show him because he's on my desk. So that is Toth. He has the head of an ibis. Now here in South Africa, I have ibises all over the place. I get one that comes and shouts at me from my window. I'm sure it's Toth. And as you can see, he's holding like, you know, a something to kind of like, you know, it's like the 10 Commandments that's basically in his hand there. So he's a scribe, okay? So he is the one that takes down all of the information. He is, and symbology and sacred architecture. Let's start there first of all. So you are a temple of light because you are a sacred structure, okay? So this is your sacred structure. So working with Toth, he can help you strengthen your sacred structure, which ultimately is your blueprint, is your, you know, your temple of light. This is you, okay? Sacred architecture. But now you're wanting to bring through a divine body of work, or you've got an idea or something like that from this sacred structure. You want to create another temple of light and you want to put it out there and create it. So of course it becomes part of you. You birth it into the world. Toth can help you with that. So the way I work with Toth, when I actually put the tablets of light tour together, he was in it. Well, he is the integral part. I worked with him to bring it through. Excuse me. And he's still here with me now. And he assisted me and guided me step by step, structure by structure, each phase on how to put it together, how to keep it in its highest essence. And that was from connecting with it from a temple of light point of view, a sacred structure point of view, being in the highest vibrational aspect. And then when it comes into physical fruition, that's just landing it into the 3D world because it's obviously a physical structure. But it came from my sacred architecture, you know, and I created it in the light of sacred architecture. So it's a bit like holding your focus, you know, as if everything is a temple of light, and channeling and creating and brainstorming from that place. Okay, so sacred architecture, symbology. I mean, symbology, you know, he can work with you through the symbols. So you can see behind here, he usually sits on that shelf there. That there is Metatron's cube, same as I always share my tattoo because I've got so many Egyptian things on here. But here you can see symbology. Now, if you look here, I have the pyramid, which is very much one of my signature temples because I'm a transmitter and a receiver, as you are as well. But anyway, you can see how I work here. So I bring the energy up through your temple of light, your sacred architecture, bringing the energy all the way up into Metatron's cube. Metatron is also Toth. Okay, so you can see, like, just through using symbology, you can really power charge a project. So for example, seeing that there, when I work with that, I sometimes put it on my desk and I put certain crystals on there. When I am working with the Anchor initiations, which is one of my offerings I give, and I'm working with the person, I will put the grid down on the table and I'll put their name on there, crystals. And for example, if it was a business idea, say you are creating an Egypt tour of your own, you put it all on there and then you visualize the Metatron's cube, which for me is activation. You visualize it activating and bringing energy into your sacred temple, your sacred architecture, your temple of light. So you see where I'm going with this, where no more creating from here, create with the magic and the light and the support of Toth, okay? Because Toth is effectively within you, all right? So I hope that makes sense in how to practically vibe with that, you know? So, yeah, I mean, obviously as a scribe, there's a lot of people writing books and channeling. And if you're somebody who really, I mean, even if you just want to write blog, that's also like, you know, or actually go as far as doing an ebook or a novel. Either way, writing scripture, that's his jam, yo. I mean, like, he brought hieroglyphs to us and writing and everything like that and languages. So like I say, he really is the Google of the multiverse. I liken him a lot to Merlin as well. Very, very similar energy and frequency, but Toth is Toth, right? So yeah, so you can actually work with him practically on many, many, many projects. Now, he works with me pretty much on every single creation I bring forth. He is the one that I will go to. If I'm going to have my business meeting, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to say, right, okay, I'm calling a meeting. Toth will always be there, because when he comes through with his frequency, he brings such divine order to that which might be a little bit chaotic and you're not sure how to plan it. Now, there's a lot that I'm giving you consciously to work with Toth. But when you just open up to channel, you open up to his energy and you call him in and you ask for his assistance, or rather call him up because he's within you. When that happens, or there's a lot of stuff that I can't explain on this video, it will just come through you. So the bottom line is you have to turn up at the point. Now the point, like turning up at the altar to go and have a conversation with him, it's effectively the heart. Okay, so you want to turn up here, okay? And, you know, maybe if you want to make it a bit more visual for yourself, the Great Sphinx is the Earth's altar. Now, the Great Sphinx for me is very closely correlated to Toth. That's just me, though. And it may be the same for you when you tap into it. Maybe in your mind's eye, when you visualize or you channel, maybe you travel to the Sphinx and visualize yourself meeting him there to have a chit chat. And sometimes creating these very, very visual realities can help you open up to connect with him. So many different ways to connect with him is through channeled writing. It sounds so technical, but get your pen, write on the paper a question to Toth. So for example, you might have a business being of light to bring through, or a body of work that you're just like, right, I know I've got it in me, it's all there, but I don't know how to get it on paper. And you can say, right, Toth, what is my first step to this? Is, you know, whatever, what is my first step to creating this business being of light? Then answer your own question as if you are answering, and then let your pen go. And like you're writing a story back to yourself, like writing a letter back to yourself. Well, I think, da 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 da. And then all of a sudden you'll feel it cross over from you to the being that you are working with, the Neteru, which is in this case Toth. And then you'll start to just feel your pen go, 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 go. And you'll be very, very surprised as to how easy it is to channel if you find it difficult sitting in quietly and tapping in that way. So that's one way you can do it. Obviously meditations, you know, I have some meditations on my YouTube channel, which may help you connect with his frequency. And yeah, so I was just trying to think of the name of them, but anyway, I never remember the names. But go and have a listen to that, and that might help you visually open your channel to him. But like I say, I think the main thing, definitely have a journal. With all of this work with the God codes, I think it's essential that you have a journal, because you want to, like you've worked with Ma'at, that was the first video, you know. You may even want to work with Ma'at for a whole month or longer and play this video after. Totally up to you, man. You know, you might do one a day, but I don't think a day is going to give you enough depth to actually really kind of like go through the activations. Because when you start working with Toth and you start opening up pathways for him to help you and different ways for him to help you, things are just going to ping on your radar. A book might fall into your lap and you'll go, oh my God, teachings of Toth. Oh my God, do you know what I mean? Or you'll be led to somewhere or something. He will guide you to bring through your business being of light, your body of work, your expression, or whatever it is that you want to bring out of you to share with the world, because you have gifts and abilities, skill sets that you don't know that you've got. Some of you have gifts and abilities and skill sets that you do know you got, but like there's more. Do you know what I mean? And he will help you get your toolbox up to speed, because that is all about Toth, right? He is that guy. Okay, so yeah, so he's your event planner, he's your scribe, he's your teacher. I mean, like, he's everything, you know. And yeah, I have to give a big sigh, because his energy is like pretty out there, and I have so much love for him. I really, really do, because we have been on such a journey creating the tablets of light tour, and that's just the beginning, you know. And yeah, so I really, really think you're going to have a lot of fun, but a very, very deep connection with Toth. So I would advise, this is my suggestion, now you're working with Toth, I think you kind of like open the circle, open the ceremony, write a little letter to him in your diary, whatever, in your journal, and then every day pitch up and do a meditation and or your guided meditation. You know, even if you're not visual, you don't like meditating, just take some breaths in, come into your center, call in him and his divine wisdom, and then start to write. But each day you have to pitch up to connect with him, and you must make that priority, because you cannot work with anyone and create a relationship without spending time with them. So that is today's teachings on Toth, and it's a great introduction. I don't want to go in too deep now, but I just want to open the portal to you, for you, with you. Thank you for watching. Anything you want to share, pop in the comment box, and just may the peace be with you.